Welcome to Third Eye Roll, where ancient wisdom gets decoded, demystified, and occasionally roasted. I'm Dr. Justine Lemos with Scarlett Trillia, here to serve up Vedic insights, spiritual real talk, and a healthy dose of side-eye. Each episode, we're diving into Vedic astrology, Ayurveda, Tantra, and the weird beauty of being human, with segments like cosmic, current events, story time with the Vedas and Shastras, WTF is that? And a mystic mic drop to leave you lit. No gurus, no fluff, just the good stuff. Okay,
Just do it. Just do it. We're doing it. We're here.
We're doing it.
We're live.
We're here for welcome back to Third Eye Roll. I'm Dr. Justine Lemos. I'm here with Scarlett Trillia, and today we're talking about Guru Purnima, and it is Guru Purnima, and it is the full moon. So, welcome to our full moon of the teachers. Let's talk about it.
So, I'm just going to jump right in. Today is Thursday. We usually record on Tuesdays. However, without even planning it, we are recording. Guru means Jupiter. Guru Purnima is Jupiter's full moon, but more broadly, it is Guru, the teacher. Thursday is Jupiter's day. It's Guru's day. It's Thursday now. The full moon is at its exact fullest moment, almost to the degree during the recording of this podcast. Folks, you cannot get more astrologically accurate than this. We are killing it.
We are killing it.
We didn't plan it. Nobody looked at a chart. We just did it. Just like this. And fashion pick, I'm wearing the most possibly best Jupiter outfit right now. So look at these earrings.
Which is yellow. Which is like this beautiful mustard yellow. I'm wearing mustard yellow shoes today. So
perfect.
I feel I'm
it's also like a vaguely masculine button-down yellow with brown stripes shirt. And I'm wearing giant fake, what are they called? Yellow sapphire earrings.
Yes.
Yeah. The fashion pick is done.
Finished.
That's all you get. You just have to dress like me. No, but let's talk about it. So Purnima means full moon. It happens every 28 days. But why
and
is
you know
this
what's
one?
nice? I just was, so Puri means full. And if you go to India, there's like Nagpur, Jaipur, Puri, and that means that's like a place that's full of people. And we also have Mani Puri chakra, right? Which is our navel chakra, Mani meaning jewels and Puri meaning full. So Purnima means the time that is full. So we have Guru and meaning that which one of the definitions of guru is that which brings us from darkness into light, or that which is heavy. And so we have the full moon of the teachers, the teacher principle, even the teacher principle, maybe most importantly, that's inside ourself.
That's right. And this occurs once a year, and it occurs when the moon is full in Sagittarius, which is one of two houses related to, or one or two rashis, one or two signs. Well, and houses, actually, in this case, both, related to planet Jupiter. It's ruled over by Jupiter. It's Jupiter's stronger of the two houses, which is called the Mula Trikona house. People don't need to know that, but now they do. And it happens when the sun is in Gemini and the moon is directly across from the sun in Sagittarius. And this is also, what could be better timing than Jupiter no longer being combust as of today? So Jupiter is conjunct to the sun, who is casting the fullness of the sun's light onto the moon. And which means that Jupiter is aspecting this full moon. And after, I don't know how long the period was, several weeks of combustion, the combustion has lifted. So that means the sun and Jupiter are far enough away that you can now see Jupiter again in the sky. just in time for Guru Purnima. Who planned this?
Who planned this? It's brilliant. We should also say that this Guru Purnima happens, Purva Ashada Nakshatra, the star of early victory, who has the Shakti of invincibility. And the goddess that rules over this star sign is Appas, the goddess of the waters. Very, very beautiful, very auspicious energy. One of the symbols here is an elephant's tusk that removes obstacles.
Like Ganapati or Ganesh.
Yeah, this star sign very much has energy of Ganesh or Ganapati, the power to remove obstacles.
And in some teachings around Appas, Appas is the rain and even the floods that bring relief from the summer heat. I don't see it happening. We are actually going into a heat wave where I am. The Mars in Leo with K2 vibe might be overpowering the Appas energy, but there may be heavy rains in some places unexpectedly. There is flooding happening in New Mexico right now.
And was just happening in Texas, in the U.S., right? There were those really bad floods that happened. So yeah, that's gonna be there.
There will somewhere out there will be heavy rains giving relief to summer heat. Maybe not where I am, but that's going to be thematic.
And probably flooding.
And interestingly, it sounds so esoteric to be making weather predictions based on nakshatras, but we were
Does it? Wait, does it?
Not to me.
Not to me at all.
Not to me at all. I mean, maybe not to our listeners. So who cares what other people think? So when we had new moon in Ardra, and we spoke about this a few weeks ago, it was directly followed by heavy windstorms, which we predicted, which gives me some confidence in saying that somewhere there's going to be some rain and flooding, maybe relief from heat.
Yeah, and there already has been some pretty intense flooding in the U.S. and unexpected flooding.
Yeah, it's like flash flood energy.
Correct.
Yeah.
There was a really bad flash flood here.
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense, because if we're talking about relief, when you need relief from heat and dryness, it's like you're so parched, or the land is so parched, that there's nowhere for the water to go. And this happens often in California. The earth gets so hard, or it is just so unused to moisture that it can't absorb it. It's like if you leave a house plant for too long without water, it doesn't soak in, right? Yeah. Everyone. I keep seeing this meme. It's like, did you kill your house plant, or did that plant not have what it takes to thrive in this fast-paced environment?
Totally.
But
other subject.
That's a whole other subject. So why is this such a special time in the year? Why is Guru Purnima such a beautiful full moon? We do say this about every full moon, but why is this, why is it such a beautiful full moon?
Well, in Vedic tradition, Tantric tradition, etc., there's an honoring of all the teachers. And I'll tell a myth about the honoring of all teachers. It's also the time when traditionally the sage Vyasa is honored, who compiled the Mahabharata and the Vedas. And in some versions, he actually writes all of these scriptures with Ganesh's broken off tusk, and he actually channels Ganesh to do all of this writing. And he also wrote the 18 Puranas. So this is where knowledge gets brought to earth from this full moon.
Knowledge gets brought to earth from this full moon. So right before we turned on this recording, and we actually accidentally started recording before we were ready, but we must have been ready. We were, and I'll let you share, Justine, if you want to, we were celebrating an academic achievement of a person.
Right.
Of a person. And in that context, I mentioned a movie that I recently just watched, which is my movie pick. I didn't know this was my movie pick. but it is. It's called Stand and Deliver. It's a 1980s film. It is such a good movie. Everyone, you should watch it. It's called Stand and Deliver, and it's about a teacher in East LA in the 1980s, based on a true story, who brings an AP calculus program to an inner city high school of primarily non-English or non-native English speaking students who've been kind of pigeonholed as not on track to have academic success or be college bound. And you must watch this film. It is so beautiful, for so many reasons. But that character, the teacher in that story, it was probably born under this full moon. Like
guru energy, huge
guru energy. And not just like, oh, you've got a strong Jupiter placement, but like, this is someone whose purpose in life is to be an educator. It's completely selfless, and it is like joy and dharma and karma all combined. Amazing.
I'm gonna see it. I haven't seen it.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it. It's such a good pick for this moon. I mean, if ever in the next 2 weeks, if folks can make time to watch Stand and Deliver, I highly, highly recommend it.
And I also, just movie picks, I mean, we have to kind of shout out to Yoda here.
Okay. Fair enough.
Tiny, cryptic, wise, lives in a swamp. Yeah. He's got classic guru moves. Yeah. Like, greatest, can levitate.
Yeah. Greatest guru on Earth he is. And, or whatever planet. But actually, Yoda's name is based on the word yoga.
Correct.
His character is he is yoga.
And I don't want to talk about like great teachers without talking about the guru archetype as shadow.
I thought you were going to say without talking about myself.
Well, I was going to talk about guru archetype as shadow.
Honorable mention to myself.
No! Oh my God. No, I wanted to talk about Osho, and I wanted to talk about wild country.
Amazing. Shadow side of Guru Purnima is definitely wild country. Oh my God. What a good
desert
call.
tantra, Supreme Court drama, murder. That's the point, right? And also, I mean, we should talk about, because we're talking about Jupiter, who one of Jupiter's name is Guru, and Jupiter is the guru to all the gods, the devas, but, he himself isn't always the upright, righteous fellow that we think of him as.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, is anybody?
Exactly.
Is anybody?
Exactly.
And this is something interesting. One of my gurus, I mean, I have a primary one, which is you, but there have been other great teachers. I deflect. There have been great teachers. Deflect. Well, that's good instinct. Okay. But there are great teachers of Jyotish, and people who really deeply have committed their lives to the study of this particular part of the Vedas are really fascinating human beings. And one particular teacher of mine, from South India, gave this amazing example of what can happen when Jupiter is working hard on shadow stuff. So Jupiter is the only planet that has the wisdom and power and, in my opinion, mass. So just to back up, Jupiter is in the sky larger than all the other planets combined times 2. Freaking massive planet, which is part of the reason why it's such a visible planet, even though it's so far away from us. It is so big, it is able to reflect all of this light from the sun, which is part of what gives its illuminating power, and it's able to remove darkness, right? Jupiter is the only planet that has that kind of strength and clarity to control the chaos of a shadow planet like Rahu. So, exactly. And the way this works, and somebody I know has a Rahu Jupiter conjunction in their chart. And so I've been talking about that with teachers over the years. And when Jupiter gets close to Rahu, it's able to mitigate some of the negative or malefic effects of that shadow planet However, it's like what my teacher would say is it's like it has to be a probation officer. So it's like, okay, this person has been released from prison, let's say, but they're on probation and we've got to keep an eye on them. So since we're so busy, Jupiter's so busy watching for chaos, watching for malefic behavior, that it doesn't have time to go out and do its great benefic things for everybody else. So it's like this interesting exchange. It would be like, and you know what it kind of feels like? It's like the super amazing security guards. I don't know if maybe not your high school. My high school had a whole security task force at all times. We were a big urban high school. So there were always a whole team of people who were there just to deal with the violence and, people who were, we had on-campus suspension. I mean, the 90s and early 2000s were a crazy time in the Bay Area, but you could be suspended from a classroom and put into what we called a bullpen on campus.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
It's called the bullpen, and a certain demographic was sent there, and there were security people who were in charge of keeping peace in that space. And they're always big people, physically big people, because you're working on securing a lot of high energy, usually boys, right? And wonderful, like so benefic in the sense that endless patience, endless compassion, endless ability to diffuse disputes and things like that. But that's their full-time job. They don't get to teach. They don't get to really do more than just keep a situation under control. So that's like when Jupiter's dealing with shadow work, it has the power to do that, or he has the power to do that. But it's like it doesn't have the power to do everything all at once.
Sure. That makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then there is this dark side to, the guru energy. And so we have to pour one out to that also.
Well, shadows and light, right? Like there always has to be that relative binary in order for something to exist. And we see this. I think we haven't really spent time on this podcast calling it out. It's one of our favorite things to do is to call out bad behavior in the yoga community. There is a trend.
Well, we just talked about Osho, so that was exciting.
Yeah, and Osho is not unique.
In so many of the various culty yoga, there has been murder and rape and incest and all sorts of things.
Money laundering, sexual abuse.
Yes.
And it's important to call it out because I don't know if it starts with that. I think people genuinely come into these practices with a desire to learn and elevate. And sometimes a teacher will gain status and notoriety and a following, a cult-like following, because when you are teaching these practices, you give people access to parts of themselves that they've never understood before, and they start to associate those good feelings with the teacher and not with the practice, which is very dangerous.
Exactly.
And it's very important to call that out. And as a teacher, it's very interesting to say, don't give me any credit. I'm really just a vehicle to pass on knowledge, and the experience that you're having with that is yours, not mine. And of course, it's an interesting thing to say on this full moon because this is the day where we honor our teachers. And it's not that you don't honor them. You honor their effort and you honor their teachings, but you don't get addicted to them, which is what often happens. And there's a very common dynamic of somebody gaining a cult following and then abusing their cult following. And it happens all the time.
And I have to say that there is a line of argument that I've heard in the spiritual yoga community that's like, well, the teacher did those things, but I still honor the teachings. And sometimes that may be fine and may be the case. And other times the teachings themselves or what they are teaching, sometimes the teachings themselves have been crafted and created to ensnare the students into that addictive cult-like relationship. And the history of yoga and the occult and of cults both is quite long. And especially since yoga has been in the US, but also prior to that. And the history of magics and black magic and yoga and the occult has long been intertwined. I mean, yogis were medieval alchemists in many ways, internally and externally. And so I've got a book pick, which is the Great Ooooooom, but it's like Om, it's O-O-O-O-O-M. And it's about the first yogi in America. And it is fascinating in the 1920s. It's journalistic nonfiction. And wow, is it a good read? Especially for Guru Purnima.
Interesting. I haven't read that.
Yeah, have you read it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you should definitely read that book. It's really good, really, really fascinating. The first yogi in the Americas was not Vivekananda, as is usually recounted in our history of yoga. It was actually this guy living in Kansas, this so-called tantric yogi from Persia, possibly, or North India, arrived in Kansas and taught this student, Pierre Bernard, who then started these yoga societies all over America and had all of these women and elephants, and he would go into death-like trance state, and doctors, I mean, this is like the 1920s and 1910s, would like stab him with needles, and he would demonstrate that he was in samadhi, like not what we would recognize as our modern postural yoga for sure.
Yeah, I mean, modern postural yoga is exactly that. It's very modern. So I think I say this in almost every episode. Yoga does not mean your yoga outfit on your yoga mat. Is a diluted basic interpretation of the term, and a lot of people get stuck there. So it's really important to reinforce that this word means many, many things, as many of these words do. They all carry multiple meanings. I would also say that autobiography of a yoga, and that's Paramahamsa.
Of a yogi, yeah.
Paramahamsa Yogananda.
On the flip.
Yeah, on the flip. On the flip side, excellent read and excellent example of a relatively pure guru, I would say. There is no known scandal associated with that person, and he's
not that I know of, sure.
Not that I know of, and he's credited with being very much a vessel of yogic teachings to the United States from India. And the book is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful book. An amazing person. And that actually is a really good read for this particular moon cycle or this particular topic, because the autobiography recounts the relationship between him and his guru and his guru's guru, and it goes backwards in time. And it really shows that passing along of knowledge and the student-teacher relationship. Excellent read. There's a lot of good ones here. And it makes you wonder. So going back to that movie, Stand and Deliver, which is a true story, I bet there is a student or more than one student who was inspired by that teacher at that high school in LA who became a teacher themselves.
Of course.
Without a doubt, and they would credit it to him. That man changed my life. He changed my trajectory. He changed the way I think about education. He changed the way I think about my abilities, about math, whatever it is. And I want to do the same. And that's the equivalent of an oral tradition in yoga, just taking place in a different context. I without a doubt, there's a student that has that story from that school.
Of course. And it's a true story, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a true story. And he was there. You gotta watch the movie. It gives some.
So, I just looked up Paramahansa Yogananda's chart and sun in Purva Ashada. So right here in that placement, right?
And Purva Ashada is one of two nakshatras that fall fully into Sagittarius. So we have all four padas of Mula, all four padas of Purva Ashada, and then Uttara Ashada spans from Sag into Capricorn. And Purva Ashada placements have somewhat of an association with like monkhood in some contexts, or not necessarily renunciant energy, but kind of, where that person's learning and teaching is maybe more important than their friendships or romantic relationships. Possibly.
So he also had Venus in Scorpio in Jesta.
Of course he did.
Interesting. So
one other thing,
yeah.
just on this topic, Jupiter, and to one of the meanings of guru, has a great love for children.
Yes.
So very much that like school teacher energy, parent energy. Jupiter is a karaka, an indicator of children in some form, whether you're teaching them or being it's father energy as well. And Sagittarius very much has that energy. Sagittarius being the natural ninth house, which gives us information about a father in a person's chart. So whether or not you're a teacher, a person with that placement will have some sort of inherent, inexplicable desire to nurture and rear children. Yeah.
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 I grew up with a father with Jupiter in Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
Super good father.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And he was a school teacher.
And he was a school teacher. Right?
Exactly.
And it was
exactly.
So that becomes a Hamsa yoga with Jupiter in its own sign in 4th house. So that's like the world is my friend. Like everyone in the world is my relation. And he would say that. He was like, yeah, everybody is like my best friend. And it's true. Everybody thought he was their best friend. His Jupiter is in Uttara Ashada. So one.
Interesting.
Shall I tell our beautiful myth today?
Tell a beautiful myth. So we have a fashion pick, Scarlett's outfit,
Yes.
movie pick, stand and deliver, and we gave a couple books. Music. Should we do our music and then a myth, or should we wait?
Yeah. I mean, music is hard.
You know what came to mind? Oh my God, I've got it.
Tell me.
Oh, I hope people really believe, because it is true, that this is so spontaneous. It's Rafi. It's Rafi.
Why is it Rafi?
Because he makes music for children. And it's like, it's so sweet.
Okay.
It's so sweet. When was the last time you listened to any Rafi songs? It's like educational and geared toward children.
Parents wouldn't let me listen to Rafi songs.
Oh my gosh, really?
Definitely not.
So my parents had a home daycare, which was run by my mother.
I know.
So I grew up with 22 daycare age children in the house at all times. So you better believe I know some Rafi
You know
songs.
some Rafi. You've got some
boy.
Rafi.
Yeah. Also big Jupiter in it. It's like,
we should also say that this is like fat guy or child in yellow dancing to fish. We have seen the videos.
Guy. We have seen that video.
Guy.
Yeah. There is, the fish I think was laid over it, but everyone has seen like iterations of a meme of like a giant man in a all yellow, I think it's like a 3-piece yellow suit dancing. Whatever he's originally dancing to, that must be the song, because it got that man so motivated. And that yellow suit
Absolutely.
Is he also wearing like a yellow top hat? Maybe. I don't know. I
feel like he is.
He might be. Yeah.
For sure. All right. So shall we listen to our myth?
Yes, please.
Once upon a time, long, long ago, far, far away. I paused dramatically.
Oh, in a galaxy far, far away. Far, far away in a galaxy.
Simultaneously, right here and right now, inside of each of us. So there was this wandering sage named Dattatreya, who, if you were to take Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destructor, and you just put them all into one, like tantric forest wizard who drinks soma and talks to the trees, you'd have Dattatreya. And so one day, a seeker stumbled upon Dattatreya in the jungle, who was naked and surrounded by wild animals and laughing and drinking from a skull, a kapala. And the seeker was like, what the heck? Why? What are you doing? Where are your scriptures? Where's your ashram? Where are your robes? Aren't you supposed to be enlightened? Where's your teacher? And Dattatreya smiled and said, I have 24 gurus. And then he listed all of his teachers. So first he listed the earth that taught him patience and how to endure all abuse without resentment, how to accept all pollution and all impact. And then he said the wind taught him how to move freely and how to stay unattached and how to stay untouched by what passed it through. And then he said the sky taught him vastness and detachment, and taught him like the pure self that is unmarked by clouds. And then water showed him purity and how we can flow even through filth. And then fire taught him transformation and how to consume all things without judgment. And the moon showed him the self that remains untarnished despite form waxing and waning. And then the sun taught him non-attachment and generosity as it nourishes without discrimination. And then he said that the pigeon, it could be, I'm not sure, I haven't read the original text, so it might be kapota, it could be a dove or a pigeon. And the pigeon was so attached to his family that he couldn't escape a hunter's net. And so this taught him about the bondage of love without discernment. And then the courtesan, and this one's really interesting, her name is Pingala, the right side channel.
Oh, interesting.
But there's no Ida represented specifically in the myth. There's just Pingala.
Pingala.
Right? Who's also one of the names of one of the yoginis. But Pingala is there, and she waited and waited and waited for her very wealthy lover to come, or as a courtesan. And as he didn't come, she turned inward and became a renunciate. And then the snake who shed its skin and taught him how to drop what no longer serves. And a deer who is drawn to the sound of music but became a prey, and so he learned the danger of distraction. And then a child who just lived joyfully in the moment, and a black bee who takes a little nectar from each flower, learning to receive without greed. And then a fish taught him about lust and hunger and desire, getting trapped on a hook. And then an arrow maker taught him about concentration, and a wasp taught him about transformation, and a python taught him to wait and be patient, and a maiden's bangles taught him about illusion, and like so many more, these 24 different teachers that were all around. And so he said, you don't need a lineage. You don't need a human guru. The world is your guru. All you need is to stay receptive if you're willing to learn. So that's the story of Dattatreya and his 24 gurus.
Oh, I love this myth.
Isn't that beautiful?
What a perfect story for today.
Yes, I thought so.
Yes.
And, I just wanted to say, a little bit more. This is like our WTF is that. And this is the concept of Trimurti avatar. Trimurti means three gods. And Dattatreya is literally three gods at once. And his mom was so enlightened that the gods came to test her. And so she turned them into little babies, also Guru Jupiter themes, and she breastfed all three of the gods. And then they blessed her with one child who was all three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And so he carries the trident, the Trishula, which is in part, this representation, Shiva carries the Trishula. It represents the three worlds. It also is the two side channels, the Ida, the Pingala, and the central channel, the Shushumna. And in fact, in this myth, Dattatreya is the central channel itself. And he carries the chakra, the discus of Vishnu that he whirls around. And the chakra of Vishnu has all of the planets upon it. It's the whirling of the universe. And he carries the kamandalu. And so the kamandalu is the water pot used by sages and deities, and it's made from brass or copper. And it's the water of life and wisdom of life. It's spiritual knowledge and nectar of Amrit. And so this is the liquid that's used in offerings or consecration. And so he carries these three symbols of the three gods. And sometimes he's shown with four dogs, which are the four Vedas, a cow representing Mother Earth. And, he lives in the forest beyond duality, beyond social norms, and even, and I think this is important, beyond spiritual seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jupiter, is really a fun guy, despite being, because if it's not fun, why are we doing it?
Exactly.
If it doesn't feel good, why are we doing it?
And what's interesting? I was thinking, oh, it's too much information, but now I feel like I have to share it. Jupiter has 4 moons. And
yes,
you just said
exactly right.
What
the Vedas, the 4 dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I like it.
If you ever have an opportunity on a clear night when Jupiter is very far away from the sun, you wouldn't see Jupiter at night right now is what I'm saying. But when Jupiter is visible brightly in the night sky and there's not a lot of moonlight, if you can look through a telescope and see those 4 moons, it is so cool.
I've never done it. I really want to.
Oh, it's super cool. Yeah,
I want to do that.
Are there other minor moons that are just not visible? I can't remember, but there's 4 primary moons that orbit Jupiter. And that's how big Jupiter is. That's how big Jupiter is. 4 moons. It's like it's a lot of mass. And that's what people like to do with people who have big guru energy. They like to orbit around them.
Yes, that's right.
They like to orbit around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
for sure.
Jupiter has a certain kind of stickiness. This is related to kapha dosha, which is attractive. People want to stick by their teacher, but it can become, on the negative or the shadow side, it can get related to like accumulation.
Correct.
And that goes back to the cult energy of like trying to keep the things that want to stick by you. It's like, no, you let them stick around, but you don't hang on to them. Right?
Well, on that note, we won't stick around too much.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. We'll see you soon. Srimatre Namaha. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Third Eye Roll. Send us some fan mail.
Send us fan mail. We love it. Bye.
Bye. All right. There we go.